Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. It's our last show, kids, and where are we going to start it off at? Right where we started off every Wednesday night on Inside the Headset. We're going to start it off down in Alabama, and we're going to talk to our good friend, head coach of the Huskies, head coach Richie Busby. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm good, Stuart.
Well, what's been going on? You didn't play you didn't play this last Friday night. So talk to me a little bit about what's been going on with you.
Well, I told myself I wasn't going to go to a game, and typical coach, I ended up going to watch Thompson High School and Hoover High School. I'm sure a lot of people up there know these two. And
we were following.
nationally ranked,
we were following that game, and Hoover came out on top. So talk to us a little bit more about it, because my brother was bringing us that score, and I was telling him that was a big one, that Thompson Hoover. So play it out for me, Coach.
Well, the head coach at Thompson High School, Mark Freeman, and I started coaching together back in 1997. So I'm close with him. And then Coach Niblett at Hoover was a roommate of mine in all-state basketball, so kind of got a connection between both of them. So I'm going to go over and watch the game, both two nationally ranked teams. And Thompson was up 21-10 at half, stopped Hoover at halftime on the 1-yard line 3 times in a row to go in up 21-10. And their starting quarterback didn't play the second half, had some kind of injury, and Hoover ends up scoring late with inside a minute to beat them. I think it was 24-21, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll see each other again in 3 or 4 weeks in the semifinals of 7A. So, two great teams.
Yeah, and with that game was over at the Met, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was an awesome crowd. I haven't been to the Met to watch a game since Rush Probst was there back in the two-a-day era, and they were always packed. With that crowd the other night, I think that place holds maybe 10 to 12,000, and there were.
Coach, repeat what you just said. We lost you just for a second.
It was at the Met, and that place holds 10 to 12,000 people, and there was every bit of that in there. So
wow,
it was it hasn't been like that probably since Russ Probst was there back in his day. So unbelievable atmosphere, and just two great high school football teams going at it.
Well, this puts you at your final week. You're at the 11th week, as all of us are, in a long season, but it's been a great season. You're in 9-0. And, of course, everybody knows you got UMS right prep. What have you been doing to get ready for these guys? I mean, it's no secret you're going to have to get on the bus and go and battle the weather. But as Coach Creasy always says here, it'll be raining on their side and it'll be raining on our side, so that's relevant. So that doesn't play any part in it. So, but what have you been trying to do to get ready for this football team?
Well, the biggest thing is trying to handle travel arrangements and moving 150 people 5 hours down the road, and restaurants and food for the team, and feeding them 3 or 4 times Friday. Just a lot of that on my part, because I'm also the AD. And so, we practiced a couple times last week and did some heavy lifting that we don't usually do, and just trying to let them heal up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But on my end, just a lot of, travel arrangements, and make sure everybody's got everything we need, and all the stuff that you got to have to go play a football game, and going to play a tremendous team that's won 8 in a row. They're ranked 4th or 5th in 5A. They lost to 7A Baker week 1, who's in the 7A playoffs in the South region. So probably the best coached team that we've faced all year, without a doubt.
Are you you really like this game coming into it right before you hit playoffs? You feel like your team needs this regardless of what the scoreboard ends up. I mean, you just want to get in, compete hard, and come out without an injury. I'm sure is just basically go out there and execute and see what your team's going to do, because it's going to tell you a lot about the following Friday night, is it not?
Yeah, and it's always. Having week 9 off, this is the second time in my career that I've had it. And, when I was at Fultondale High School, we didn't deal with it real well. We seemed to always be playing really well. And I don't know, we just always came out of it flat, and hopefully we're not going to do that. this week because we can't afford to. They're one classification below us, but they're a really well coached team. And one thing, we were doing some analytics yesterday, and they've 504 snaps on defense. They've only given up 12 run plays of 15 yards or more, and we're a pretty good defense. We feel like we've given up 44. So that tells you the kind of team they are and the way they tackle and they run of the football because, 12 plays of 15 yards or more over 500 snaps is pretty impressive.
Absolutely, and I mean, yeah, and that was one of the things I was trying to explain to some of the people. They asked me, Stork, what was the biggest difference? I said, you're not going to get away from somebody in Alabama. They are really good about keeping the game right in front of them. You're not going to bust that big play like you do here. I mean, it ain't going to happen because there's a guy on the other side of the field that's going to run you down and tackle you and not let you score more than likely. And it's just real hard to get out there and get separation, get away from everybody because everybody's so daggone good.
Yeah, and we played them last year, beat them 12-7 at home, and go looking back, the stat that I just read out to you it makes sense because everything we had that night, we were our longest run might have been 9, 10, 11 yards. It's just like, can you stay? Can you not get frustrated and just continue to run the football? And it may be a low-scoring game. I mean, they're very capable of scoring a bunch of points, too. So if we do our part, it'll be a good game. We just got to handle the ride. And 2 years ago when Coach Curtis and I were in Nashville, I think it's either Nashville or San Antonio at the National Football Convention, we're both sitting there complaining that we didn't have a Week 10, and we're really good friends, travel together, and we're like, well, we'll just play each other. And, I thought it was a good idea because we're in the South region, and the state championship always goes through Mobile. That region down there that we match up with in playoffs is just the best region in our state in 6A football. And I said, no matter what happens with this game, it'll give our kids a chance to see what it's like to have to travel that distance and try to win a football game to advance in the playoffs. And we're treating it like that.
Well, Coach, I'm so glad that, first off, just thank you, Coach Busby, for joining us here on Inside the Headset for the full season. As tradition, this is the last show that we talk, and the only reason is when it gets to playoffs, well, I never know if you're coming back or, whatever happens, and so we never get a very good ending. So I just decided, I used to try to talk to everybody right up to the end, and then it just got to where I didn't get to say goodbye. It dropped off. I thought they'd be back next week, and they lost. So I just decided always, it gives a good ending. Everybody can go do their playoffs. It's advancing and everything. I just want to thank you for being on the show. I'm glad John Hester said you need to meet my friend. I am just thrilled that all of this happened. You are a part of it, and you are a part of our show, and giving your time and your thoughts and sharing a little bit about your team and taking us through your season. We're going to continue to follow you. We'll be right on your heels. We'll do a couple of broadcasts during the playoffs, and we'll be chanting that, we'll be screaming out that Helena score. So we just want to wish you the best of luck. Safe travels down to Mobile, down to UMS Wright Prep, and we just appreciate you being on the show, Coach.
Well, Stuart, we appreciate you, and if you'd have us back next year, we'd love to do it. And just thank you for promoting the great game of high school football. We're so blessed to get to coach it, and only one team can win the last game in each classification. But for me personally, this year football's been such a blessing. Some of the things I've been through to kind of get me away from reality a little bit, but thank you for having us and talking about Helena and our special city and a program that we think is special. And if you'd have us again, we'd be tickled to do it.
Well, dude, we're coming. I don't know if you know it, but we're coming next year. We're pretty fired up, and you're on the show. You got your slot, as always. We'll kick it off next year, week 1, and we'll talk. Of course, I'll talk to you a big bunch before then, but we wish you the best of luck through the playoffs. And as always, in closing, as you always say, and you kind of got us all saying it too, but go Huskies.
Thank you, Stork, and all the guys, all those great coaches in Tennessee. Good luck to those guys, and hopefully they can all stay healthy and have a great playoff run. And go Huskies.
Go Huskies. See you, Coach.